Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this timepiece. Today we discuss a watch from Franck Muller that is named after my homeland. This is the Long Island Bi-Retrograde. The Long Island, launched as a collection in the year 2000, a reflection of the aesthetic of the 1920s as epitomized in stories of flappers and speakeasies and jazz, The Great Gatsby, and this watch is very much in that vein. The era before Art Deco, it was more Art Nouveau aesthetically. Certainly that is the case. You can imagine folks in Sands Point and Manhasset and Great Neck wearing something that would have looked like this back in the 1920s. Now granted, this is a modern watch and it's on a modern watch scale. It's almost the size of a pocket watch by 20 standards. In white gold, however, we're going to take a quick look here. 33 millimeters across from side to side. It's actually fairly thin at 10.2 millimeters thick from end to end, lug to lug, 54.5 millimeters with a 24 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. Now, the North Shore of Long Island was all about the high life. Gold Coast mansions, fortunes made in no time at all, easy come, easy go money. And of course, this watch right here represents that spirit. It also has a dynamism to it because of the Bi-Retrograde seconds display. On my wrist, as large as it is, it does actually fit. Now, it's borderline, but it fits. It's comfortable. I think aesthetically it's a good match. The further away from the camera you get, the more you realize how big my wrist is, and the watch in fact does fit. So 16 centimeters circumference and up, you're going to find it's a good match. The strap also has no stiffness to it, so you can pull it straight down out of the lugs, and a little bit like a RM case back, there's a curvature here that mitigates any fit issues. We do have pull tab spring bars. You can pop the strap out of the case without a tool. These screws are largely ornamental. We have a strap that is large, symmetrical, rectangular scale alligator leather. Always a rare and expensive cut of the beast, but it's also a very thin strap. You can see gloss black, a monotone stitch. We got a sheer cut edge with lacquer for refinement, and then calfskin on the bottom. Brand new Franck Muller factory strap, and you can see that we've got a matching FM buckle here. So taking a quick look at that, all of this white gold, and the white gold does appear to be gray gold, which is the kind that never needs to be rhodium plated and is white all the way through. Now, a fascinating feature of this case is that it's a monoblock. So you can see how there's no separate bezel and case structure. Those two things are all formed together, and then it's a back loader with everything loading through the back of the watch. The 2800 GR automatic movement sits underneath with its platinum mass. Taking a look in profile, we do have a Franck Muller branded crown. Now, it does look, I have to admit, it does appear as though this would be a loomed watch, but there is no loom whatsoever. So I just want to disabuse you of that illusion in case you were harboring it. The seamless, all of a piece look of the monoblock case really works here because there's no seam between the bezel and the case. And we have these lovely lugs and crystal that is fairly complex, being cambered across, but then also shaped in a non-round form. It is a 30-meter water-resistant watch, which is the dress watch standard, and actually fairly challenging to achieve with crystal shaped like this. On the dial, we have sort of a cream off-white printing with hands to match, though you can see they're blued at center. And then there is a subtle rosette pattern that has been lacquered over to give it a bit of a flinke aesthetic. Although because it's not translucent, it's not true flinke. You can see that there is a very fine rosette sort of pattern or guilloche-like form from the center out underneath black lacquer. We have a little bit of a burgundy or maybe maroon for the seconds themselves. And you can see how this works. You have 0 to 30 seconds up at the top, and then there's a relay that retrogrades back to its beginning, and then the seconds display down at the bottom traverses the next half of the minute. Just like that. And so you always feel a little bit sheepish with a Franck Muller that's basically just time, that doesn't have any complications. It says master of complications on the back. Fortunately, this one does have a complication. Now, it's based on a 2892A2, this 2800 GR movement. So you can see when I pull the crown, it activates the hacking seconds function. So in theory, I could set this watch to a second. Bidirectional automatic winding, 4 Hertz beat rate. It has a 42-hour power reserve. But again, one improvement that Franck Muller does make is fitting a platinum mast to the rotor, which will considerably improve winding efficiency. So there is a lot to love. Art Nouveau, the high life of the Roaring 20s, the first true bubble economy of America's 20th century. They were good times until they ended. Fortunately, with the Long Island on your wrist, they never will. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.